Right, dear Venerable Sirs, brothers and sisters of the Dharma, a very warm welcome all of you to Taipei Buddhist Center here for the Samadhi Buddhist Seminar 2015. Now, we're all part of history in the making today, as this is the first ever Buddhist seminar to be organized by Samadhi Buddhist Society.
Indeed, as we go about sharing the teachings of Buddha as our perpetual mission, we also seek to find new ways to reach out to our existing members and also to attract new participants who are keen to find out more about Buddhism.
Now today we are very fortunate to have with us three very learned speakers who will enlighten us on the essence of Buddhism and which transcends different cultural practices.
That's right, and we will have Venerable Seeha, the founder and religious advisor of Samadhi Buddhist Society, who will introduce to us the essence of Buddhism.
Yes, and we also have Venerable Dr. Chanda Vimala, who will share with us the central teachings of Mahayana Buddhism.
And our third speaker, Professor Sumana Palla, will then bring the different schools of teachings together by sharing with us the central teachings and evolution of the Buddhist schools.
Right, Upali, I think everyone must be looking forward to what our speakers have to share with us. So let us kick off with the first speaker for today, Venerable Seeha.
Yes, Venerable Seeha was born in Sri Lanka and graduated from the University of Peradeniya, Sri Lanka in 1978. He obtained his postgraduate diploma in Buddhist Studies from Postgraduate Institute of Pali and Buddhist Studies, University of Kelaniya in 1989. He was awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for his work entitled Buddhist Concept of Assimilation by the University of Kelaniya in 2005.
Yes, and after his graduation, he has published several books and articles on Buddhist philosophy and culture. He is also the founder and religious advisor of Samadhi Buddhist Societies in Singapore, as well as the founder and director of Samadhi Buddhist Cultural Center in Kandy, Sri Lanka. Without further ado, let's welcome Venerable Seeha to start off the inaugural Samadhi Buddhist Seminar with his talk on the essence of Buddhism. Venerable Seeha, please.
Dear Venerable members of the Mahasangha, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Samadhi Buddhist Society, I welcome all the venerable monks, those who are present here. It is an encouraging event for us to continue this kind of seminars in future. Venerable Dr. Chanda Vimala, he is the teacher of the Buddhist College of Singapore for last 7 years. He is well interacting with the Society of Singapore nowadays. Therefore, we invited him to take part of this special seminar as our guest of speaker. Thank you, Venerable, for your presence. And also, I'm very glad that my professor, I highlight this word, Senior Professor Sumanapal Galbangoda. He is also from the University of Kelaniya, Sri Lanka, one of the well-known Buddhist scholars in the field of Buddhist philosophy today. He is also here to give his opinion for us to continue our Dhamma work. Thank you, Professor, your kind acceptance of our invitation. And also, Professor Vijay Bandara, he also the former Vice Chancellor of the Vidyodaya University in Sri Lanka. He is also here today as our special guest to participate in this seminar. I'm very happy that all the important people, those who learn the Dhamma, Buddhism, I think, in different sources, they are here today to participate in this seminar. Thank you for your presence here. Essence of Buddhism, the special seminar we organized to highlight the certain important facts highlighted in the very particular paper, single paper, that we have distributed last Vesak full moon day onwards. After distributing this paper, some of my friends and devotees asked me, Venerable Sir, could you organize some sort of discussion session to further, we want to learn further about contents of this paper. In brief, you might wonder the Reverend is going to explain something which is very different, essence of Buddhism. Don't know how deep the teachings of the Buddha he is going to highlight here today. Essence of Buddhism can be summarized into two particular words. That's why I put it both sides of the paper, problem and the solution. That is the essence of the teachings of the Buddha. Every day we are facing problem. Every day whole world come forward to give some solution for your day-to-day problem. The same manner, when the human beings came into exist from that day onwards, we realized that every one of us continuously face most difficult problem daily in our life. We can see we are facing problem. The problem based on our ordinary life, daily life. Greatest problem that we are facing is we get old, we get sick, and in the end of the day, we have to depart from this world. The Buddha's explanation, if you understand very clear, then you can analyze your problem very clearly without any kind of problems. The solution given by the Buddha is also very important for us. What kind of solution given by the Buddha? If we realize the problem as it is, then Buddha has given a very clear path to solve your problem based on morality, concentration, and wisdom. Morality means we have to change our way of behavior. That is the therapies for us to get happiness. Then second important thing, our mind is always encountered with so much of problem. Then Buddha highlighted the samadhi or concentration. We have to develop and try to maintain our mind to focus on one particular ways. Then most of the mental problem can be disappeared from us. The third one is we need to have some sort of understanding. It's called cognitive, or if not, we can say we have to develop our wisdom to realize the final salvation. It underlined all these explanations given by the both sides of the paper. One side, I categorize all these into paticca samuppada, or if not, I say pancha upadanaskandha, the five aggregates. The other side of the paper, I highlighted the eight noble path. That is the solution given by the Buddha for our daily, all these problems that we are facing daily. I am agreed that some of the educated people ask me, Bhante, can you summarize the teachings of the Buddha into this particular paper? I say, no, sir, no, Venerable Sir. The teachings of the Buddha cannot be summarized into this kind of simple paper because it is very deep and It goes beyond our ordinary sense of understanding. Therefore, it cannot be summarized as what I did. But why I wanted to produce this kind of paper, you have to understand why. I am living in Singapore for more than 30 years. I try to teach the Buddhism for the students, those who came to me. I use my Sri Lankan methods to teach Buddhism for the modern society like Singapore. It was not tally. Most of the time I understood that they cannot understand what I say. Of course, my language was not so good. But anyway, that is another matter. The way we explain the Dhamma based on different topics, Paticca Samuppada, Karma, rebirth, then three characteristics of nature, Dukkha, Samudaye, Nirodha, Four Noble Truths, Eight Noble Paths, so forth. Then I want to find out, cannot be like this. The Buddha's aim for salvation, for our final salvation, there should be a link with all these subjects what I have taught. Then last 6-7 years, I have been struggling to find how to merge all these things into one paper. I came out with this idea. I realized that Paticca Samuppada, one special subject taught by the Buddha, and the other side is the Eight Noble Paths, can merge all the teachings of the Buddha into one paper. Anyone asks question, this part is not appeared on this paper, especially the basic teachings, I am prepared to answer for you. I am confident that this paper, if you have this paper, all the teachings of the Buddha, summaries of the teachings of the Buddha can be analyzed. It is confident. I have confidence on this matter. That is why I contacted Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi. I contacted our professor, Dr. Sumanapal Galmangoda. He says that, Venerable Sir, you can go ahead. You can print it. With great confidence, I do not want to do something which is stubborn to highlight myself. I get their permission. Then I decided to publish and pass it to you. That is what happened. The essence of Buddhism came into being. Singapore society, most of them are living in this particular society. They are belongs to the different religion, as well as they are belongs to different ethnic groups, and also advanced in science and technology in this particular country. And also, compared with those days, today's Singaporeans are well educated. When I used the traditional method to teach the Dhamma, it was not really helpful for them to understand. That is why this paper came into being. Another important thing I want to ask, Buddhism is the only religion where you can show anyone, those who are living in this world, is always always accompanied with the human beings, those who are living on this earth. No doubt at all. To show them, Buddhism never divided people. The Buddha's teachings never, ever divided people, this human world. We have to work together. We have to live together. Therefore, once you contact the teachings of the Buddha, you may come forward and say, this is the religion. This is the teaching, which is truth. Remember, in India, in the northern part of India, the Buddha lived in northern India. At that time, who was there? Multi-religious group, 62 or 64 types of the religious masters, and different caste systems were engaged. Buddha went all these places without fear and suspicion. Why? Buddha taught the truth. truth can be penetrated through everywhere without any hesitation. That is what I believe, that this is the time for us to highlight the very important facts taught by the Buddha. Another important thing, remember, those who do not know the Dhamma or the teachings of the Buddha, they might highlight that Buddhists are idol worshippers. And Buddhism is not relevant to the modern day society. Therefore, it is not worth you to practice and even read the scriptures of the teachings of the Buddha. That is the wrong concept. After this seminar, you might come and tell whether Buddhism can be used for every human being on this earth or not. That is the success. Maybe in the end of the seminar, we can see. I think after having a lot of comments, I want you to rest for a while. The elephant and the ocean, both without tiring, we can look at. Why? This is the huge elephant. Once the Buddha said that every footprint of the living beings can be placed on the elephant footprint. Why? It is huge. That is the huge, largest footprint that we can see. Similarly, the Buddha highlighted that all these teachings of the Buddha, anyway, I changed a little bit, all the wholesome deeds in the Buddha said, but I say all the teachings of the Buddha can be summarized into 4 noble truths, what the Buddha taught us. I think it is not necessary to go further. Early, the elephant you have seen. Why? You have very good eyesight. Presuming some of the people are by birth blind. Let them explain the nature of the elephant. The one who went closer to the leg, one of the legs of the elephant, he described that elephants look like a tree. Why? Blind people always recognize it by touching. The other one, who managed to touch the tail, it may say elephants look like a rope, or sometimes they say broom. The next person, closer to he only managed to touch the huge body of the part of the body of the elephant. He might say that elephant look like a wall. Another one maybe managed to touch the ear of the elephant. It says elephant look like a fan. Similarly, if you are unable to see the total or the whole teachings of the Buddha, if you cannot see, once you only know how to chant the suttas, ask how Buddhism look like, chanting sutras. Again we ask those who know how to recite mantras and to perform some sort of rites and rituals, they say Buddhism is reciting mantras and perform some sort of rites and rituals. The other group of people may know how to practice meditation. They might say Buddhism is meditation. Without the total teachings of the Buddha, you may not you have no chance to understand the total whole view of the teachings of Buddha. This paper produces you something to see something which is important. Then again, another wrong concept always accompanied us. Most of our Buddhists regularly come to our temple and say, Bhante, all the gods are same, Buddha also a god. I say, yes. I don't want to describe because if not, they don't want to come to temple anymore. I say, yes, Buddha as a God. Yeah, God. Yeah. Please, we have to remove this wrong concept. Historical evidence shows that the Buddha was born in India, in Lumbini, and attained the enlightenment at the Bodhi tree, Bodh Gaya, and he delivered his first Dhamma sermon at Saranath, Varanasi, and had departed at the Kushinagar. And also says that he was born 633 years ago, 6 to 3 years before the Christ. And he led a lay life until 29 years. Age of 29, he left the palace, and 6 long years he went for the truth, searching for the truth, then attained the enlightenment, attained Parinibbana. Therefore, you can understand Buddhist era, we count from the day of the departure, if not Parinibbana day. 543 BC plus 2015, the Buddha passed away 2,558 years ago. All these evidence shows Buddha is not a God. Even Dona Sutta, Buddha highlighted it. Don't address me as God. Only word you can use to address me, the Buddha. No other words can be used. Please erase that misconception if you have such things. I don't want to come to teach the Dhamma at the primary level of, I don't think you are at the primary level. But anyway, this incident, something which is very important in the life of the Buddha. Seeing an old man, sick man, and dead body triggered his mind to remind him that the aspiration that he had to become the Buddha, to serve for the mankind. This is what has happened. After seeing, he had given up all the comfort. He was a prince, led a very luxurious life. All the comfort accompanied with him. Had given up the family, palace, kingdom, relatives, and friends. He went all the way to search the truth. What truth? Based on who? Regarding what kind of truth he wanted to know. Truth regarding you and me. Truth regarding you and me. Beautiful, the pictures, nice, you see. Remember how you come to this world, cannot remember. Then how you grow, also cannot remember. Then you know K1, K2, P1, P2, P4, study, carry a lot of books, and went to this school, then went to university, graduated. From the day you are graduated, work very hard. You see, no time to come to learn Dhamma. Sorry, Bante, I cannot come. What are you doing? Forget your health and forget your qualities. You are rushing very hard to collect money. How much of money I have? I have billions of dollars. Again, they know that. What Prince Siddhartha renounced to find out the solution for the old age, sickness, and the death. Then what happened? He forgot his health, then he worked very hard. Immediately after retirement, he started to spend money. Bypass, 1 million, not so expensive, I say. Then diabetic, cancer, a lot of problem come to us at that time. At the beginning, we forget to learn the Dhamma, earn a lot of money. After retirement, we have no time to learn the Dhamma. Why? We are gravely sick. Spend whatever you have earned. In the end of the day, rest in peace. Don't know where we are going. Don't know where we are going. Now I want to ask a question from floor because all are very quiet. must open your mouth. Tell me that. Who gets sick? Who is going to get old? Then who is going to die? This man say, I. This man say, I. I am going to get old, I am going to get sick, I am going to die. This man accompanied with me for more than 10-15 years. To me, it never changed. It never changed. Finger point at you. Who get sick? I am the one going to get sick. Who is going to get old? I am the one who is going to get old. Who is going to die? Not I am. Because no one wants to die, come to this world. Nobody wants to die. I understand, nobody wants to die. Why? If you remember that these incidents come to you, you going to be a better person. Anyway, this is nothing to do with me, whether you die or not, none of my business. Then I am going to teach based on Paticca Samuppada. It is the central teachings of the Buddha. How Buddha described about you. Some scholars says Paticca Samuppada is very different. Even the Buddha also mentioned Venerable Ananda to Venerable Ananda. Ananda don't think it is easy. We understand that is deep in everywhere. But why not we can go, the paper I have given to you, remember? Number 1 and 2 I am not going to describe. Also I am not going to talk about theoretical side of this Paticca Samuppada. Dr. Chanda Vimala and my professor is there. I think they may handle this matter because I am not so have the deeper knowledge on this. How you come to this world? Again, can you go back to your origin? Can go back? Okay. This is the way you come to this world. Togetherness of the two opposite sex. The embryo develop in the mother's womb. But here a little bit different. Why? The Buddha said, past consciousness, death consciousness come and occupy the mother's womb where new life begins. There is a link between past life and the present life. Whatever books you wrote or are going to write regarding the Buddhist concept of rebirth, you have to come to this place. So much of things we can talk about rebirth. This is the place we have to come to teach the birth or rebirth concept, what the Buddha said. Next one is very interesting. Okay, can you open your mouth for a while? When you come to this world, the baby gradually develop. Then what are the things fixed into your body? 6 senses. What are the 6 senses? Just touch. What is this? I cannot see. What is this? Huh? This? And body and the mind. Okay, the 6 senses you have. If you don't have either one, I don't know how you act. Then again, Paticca Samuppada highlighted the baby come to this world. Don't think it is on the picture here. It is you. When you come to this world, fixed with 6 senses. What is going on with these senses to experience the world? You are using these 6 senses. No need to teach Bhante what from the day one I know these 6 senses. Nothing to do with me. You don't try to highlight all these things. Ordinary people think like that. Then, next one. These 6 senses for you to contact the outside world. Very important. How it come to, I see some object, then without your knowledge, consciousness, mind awaken. 2 physical things contact with the mind. Then you develop your contact and develop your feelings. Understand? This is the feeling that you have. What kind of feeling that you have towards the things from morning to evening you are seeing? Certain object that you have seen, I am happy with that. Certain object that you have seen, I am not happy with that. Further analyzing what you have seen, the object, then you develop the like or dislike, the feelings. The further analysis of this like or dislike, we say greed and hatred, or ignorant, do not know what is going on with your eye and eye contact, you are ignorant. Then develop the craving. Develop craving. In Buddhism, the Four Noble Truths, the Buddha said that everything can be summarized into Four Noble Truths. Remember, I mentioned earlier, this is the cause of This is the cause of suffering. Dukkha samudaya can be recognized if you know the Dhamma now onwards. Dukkha samudaya. This is the samudaya. Cause of suffering begins once you contact your senses to the existing world, develop desire or craving, attachment develop. This is the main important teaching taught by the Buddha. Samudaya or cause of suffering can be realized when you learn the Dhamma in this way. This relinking consciousness, this linking, I am not going to talk about Pancha Upadanaskandha, 5 aggregates, it is another subject. So you can understand, this consciousness again cling and going to move with next birth. Again, you can understand this consciousness, early consciousness, and we say mind and body. To me, anyway, this consciousness also I recognize as Chuti Chitta. This Chuti Chitta move for the next life. That is why purposely I put here, birth means mind and body. Mind and body. Then again, we come to this world. Those who do not know what is going on with you, as an ordinary person, come to this world, enjoy, say music, go to karaoke, then afterwards go here and there. Then in the end of the day, they depart from this world. But the Buddha highlighted that whatever the action that you have done in the past calls for your next birth. If you do more good deeds, more opportunities for you to be born in the heavenly life is confirmed. If you do more good deeds further, then you can be born in the Brahma world, better human world. Understand? It is your own action given you the final destiny for you to be born. If you do more unwholesome action based on greed, hatred, and ignorance, that kind of people have the more opportunities to be born in the animal kingdom, hungry ghosts, or the petas. We are here more focusing on the human birth likewise. Then what is happening to us? Number 11 and 12, old age, sicknesses, and death. Anyone can tell that Buddhism is not relevant to your life by knowing this. Why? This is the most relevant teachings delivered by the Buddha for your own sake. Buddha is not the Buddhist. Buddha explained the truth. Therefore, whatever religion, race, or color that it belongs to you, you can understand the truth. Then believe me, if it is truth based on your life, practice it. Why not? That is the word uttered by the Buddha. Anyway, further explanation is needed. How? I'm going to show you how the rebirth will take place. This is the search. Give some people, the Hindu concept or whatever, the little baby gradually develop. In the end of the day, what is happened to a grandmother, grandfather? They kept the body in the coffin and they depart. At the departed moment of our departure, the mind is departing from us. That is called death consciousness or departed consciousness. That is called vijnana, in other words. That is the vijnana goes and occupies the mother's womb when it develops the embryo in the mother's womb. If the consciousness is not in contact with the embryos, no life can begin. Whatever tube you use to get new babies, impossible. It should have the consciousness. If not, no life will begin. Then, what happens? Mind and body begins with the combination of the mind and the physical side of the body. You understand? This physical side of the embryo belongs to the two opposite sex. Energy there. But the mind is not belongs to them. Minds come and occupy. That is why we say nama rupa. Combination of the mind and body begins the new life. The next one is interesting. It is interesting sometimes. I think you know this, what it is. We compared, this is the bee, bee, always collecting nectars. Where the bee going to rest? Where there are nectars, flower, it goes and occupies the flower. Can you explain that how the bee is going to nectars? Why he attracted by nectars only? It is difficult to analyze, difficult to explain. So, at the same way, in your past life, if you are doing good deeds for the sake of the many, then that consciousness come and occupy the mother's womb. Then what happened? Happy birth for you. You can have a happy birth, at the same time, you can have a happy baby too. Anyone can deny it, because I have no scientifically, I cannot prove this. Even the doctors also don't know what to do with this. Next important thing I just want to show. The death consciousness compared to the housefly. Where the housefly is going to be? On a flower with nectar? If not, cow dung like that. Filthy, ugly place. Similarly, in this particular life, if you are going to do a lot of unwholesome action, then even though you have to be born in the human life, then this kind of unfortunate birth will come to you. That is the action create this kind of thoughts. That is the action, the decision made by the karmic action for you to be born in the heaven or hell. Not by prayer itself. In Buddhism, Buddha highlighted that. Even here, so many Bhantes, so many professors, ladies and gentlemen, so many people are here. We cannot say either one is similar to each other, physically. And also, physically maybe sometimes similar, look, but sometimes mentally none of us are similar to each other. The Buddha has given a very clear reason for that. In this cycle of samsara, we have been doing a lot of wholesome and unwholesome action. Due to that, different features come into your appearance may be different. Different status of your life come also due to your wholesome or the unwholesome action. If not, everyone want to go and to be born in the prime minister's, the son to be a prime minister's son to be born. can make a prayer to go there? Impossible. Please don't do it. Because it is impossible. So it comes, decided by the action that we have done. If someone created all of us, should be similar look. Why not? Should be similar. Why are we so different? I cannot understand either. Anyway. Okay, 6 senses I am going to explain a bit in details. To you is nothing. Eye, you can see flower. Ear, you can hear the sound. Even you can hear my sound too, I hope so, if you are happy. Nose, you can see little children, elders, even the about to die also, they want to smell things. You use the nose. Then tongue, taste, if it is sour, difficult. Even for me also, I have to have some water now. Then body or touch, and the mind for you to think. That's all. But you have to understand invisibly, without your knowledge. Once you contact, number 6 and 7 here, contact and feeling, sense contact the external object, awaken your mind. You see? When two physical existence, the flower is the physical one, I also physical. But in between the contact, if the mind is not going to interfere, no feelings will develop. Therefore, only the body is body, feelings from onwards, we activate all this in our mind. The feelings come to you, sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are not happy, pain, pleasant feeling or painful feeling or the neutral feeling. Sometimes we have to say, hey, hello, look at me like that, because you are not concentrating. Neutral feeling. So then that liking or disliking, further analyze, then attachment or the desire come to you. Then if you dislike, it goes to the anger or the hatred. That is the craving. The Buddha says, cause of our suffering. I believe that you can understand it easily. Further, then mind plays a very important role than our body. Most of the time, we try to please our body. How many times take bath? Many times a day. This time very hot, then you can make 3-4 times. Okay? Then change the dresses every day. But anyway, nothing to do with body much. The feelings we have to control. That is the feelings always develop. When you want to learn the teachings of the Buddha, you have to understand this particular principle. You have this knowledge that is called cause of suffering. This is the origin of the cause of suffering. I put at the center of the paper. Why? It is not an arrow itself. That is, you need to have this knowledge, then you can walk further for the liberation. Then remember, perception, mental formation and consciousness move, and new birth come to you. Anyway, again, I don't want to develop further. This is where the life cycle. This Nama Rupa and this Nama Rupa is not very different to me. Those who know what is exactly happening within you, where the origin of craving all this, then gradually ignorance will disappear from your mind. The Buddha highlighted that Avijja Sutta, Sutta Avijja. Say once a monk, you know the eyes is impermanent, the form is impermanent. Due to that, arising of your consciousness is impermanent. Then the feelings, contact, impermanent. That clears your ignorance. That clearly mentioned in the Buddha Avijja Sutta. There are 4 Avijja Suttas. You can go and read it for further information. And Sankhara here, this Sankhara, and the Sankhara that I have shown you, Panchupadana Skandha, from this Sankhara to that Sankhara, if the elaboration highlighted more in details, I think first and the second, number one and number two, for me, like the introduction to the Paticca Samuppada. Now I think time for you to rest. What you are doing here, based on desire, hate, and ignorance, we are struggling to get what we like. We want to have a baby, we work hard to get babies. If you want to get money, you work hard to get money. At the meantime, we work very hard to avoid what we dislike. That is called living in Buddhism, nothing but. Every person, those who are living on this earth, they are going on this struggle, way of struggling. Therefore, final words from me, Paticca Samuppada. Here, we can analyze the most of the important teachings of the Buddha very clearly. 12 links highlight the Paticca Samuppada. Then it also dependently arising, therefore no permanent entity. Therefore you can explain in detail 3 characteristics of nature, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Here we can explain the rebirth concept. Here we are explaining the 5 aggregates. Here we explain the cause of suffering. Here we explain the mental and physical suffering, truth of suffering. Here we explain the planes of existence. Here we are explaining further, the body consists of 4 elements. Then after I consciousness, all sort of things we can learn through the Paticca Samuppada. That is why this essence of Buddhism means to me, we can explain the many of the greatest teachings of the Buddha by looking at this paper. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.